Our next speaker is Chloe Carrick. She is the 2025 class president. She has functioned as the liaison between the class and the faculty. It is a difficult job, especially on top of her academic responsibilities. There could not have been a better choice to take this leadership role. She has been an example to all of us here. I would like to take a moment and give Chloe a round of applause as a thank you for her service. Chloe.
Good morning to my favorite group of 38 individuals, our dedicated faculty and staff, and the incredible friends and family who have supported us along the way. I'm truly honored to stand before you today and speak one last time on behalf of the UEPA class of 2025. To my fellow classmates, yes, this does mark the end of our beloved town hall meetings, the after-class announcements, and those delightful Google survey GroupMe notifications. I know some of you may find that hard to accept, but don't worry, I'm happy to host monthly Zoom meetings if you need that connection. Today, I would like to start by asking you all to play a little game with me. Yes, that's right, a game. You know how I love my silly games. This game is going to be a little easier for those of you sitting to my left and right, but family and friends, feel free to join in as well. I want you all to take a moment to dive into your imagination. Take a deep breath in through your nose, relax, release your breath, and close your eyes. Picture this. You wake up to the peaceful radar sound of your iPhone alarm clock. Today marks the first day of your new job, a job you have dreamed of and worked towards for many years. A wave of nerves and excitement rush over you as your feet hit the floor. You remember you are in a new city, or maybe it is a city you have known before, but never in this capacity. You check your phone and see it's 6:30 a.m. Your first day starts at precisely 8 a.m. You get up, make your morning coffee, grab a quick breakfast, and tear the tags off your new button down because apparently business casual is the dress code. You get dressed, gulp down your coffee and breakfast, and rush out the door at 7:15 a.m. because the idea of being late on your first day is simply unbearable. As you drive to work, you think about what you'll say when you meet your new coworkers, where you'll have lunch, and where you'll sit on your first day. When you arrive, you pull into the gated parking lot, punch in the code 0123, and find a parking spot. Once you put your car in park, you look up and stare in awe at the massive tan and orange building with floor-to-ceiling glass windows. You take note of the gray signage proudly displayed in the top right corner, Stone Family Center for Health Sciences. Some of you may be catching on to where this is going. Over the next week, you meet countless new faces, establish your seat in the main auditorium, and unleash your silent wrath on anyone who even thinks about stealing it. You also quickly learn that the pay isn't great, and in fact, you're paying the work here. For those of you who actually closed your eyes, feel free to open them now. No matter how each of our experiences unfolded after that first day, it was that initial week I want you to hold on to as we look ahead to what's next. I'll let you finish the story in your mind based on your own journey, but for now, let's remember that first day, first week, as we think about the new chapter we're about to begin. In what was officially my last Google survey ever, I asked you all several reflection questions. Two in particular stood out to me as especially useful as we enter this next chapter. The first was if you could tell yourself one thing on that first day of PA school, what would it be? One common theme was the importance of trusting the process and having fun while you're doing it. It is safe to say that many of us have likely experienced some form of self-doubt or maybe even imposter syndrome throughout our time in either didactic or clinicals. For some of us, it was the first time we saw a birth or a code. For others, it might have been when a patient had 18 chief complaints and your preceptor asked for your differential, not one thing came to mind. Or maybe it was as recent as the clinical reasoning exam when Claire said everyone from the class before us thought it was fun, and fun was the last way you would have described it. The point is, just like in PA school, we will question our ability to do this job at times. Especially in this first year, there will be mistakes and times we do not know the right answer. That is okay, and in fact, it's quite normal. Trust the process, put in the work, and don't forget to have a little bit of fun. The other overarching theme was summed up by one student who said, "I would tell myself you are about to meet the people who will carry you through the next 3 years." Think back to that first day when you walked into Stone and found your seat in Smythe. Maybe you selected your seat based on a familiar face from undergrad, or simply because it was a seat in a row of a lot of testosterone in a class dominated by estrogen. For others, you found someone else who looked just as lost as you and thought, maybe we can figure this thing out together. What we did not know then was that we were about to meet the people who we would spend thousands of hours studying with, eating with, sharing belly laughs with, complaining with, and developing inseparable bonds. Many of us found our future bridesmaids and groomsmen, or the godparent to our unborn child, or in Brian's case, 38 babysitters for any and all class events. We also did not realize the bonds we would form with those teaching and advising us, that we would spend countless hours in their offices and classrooms doing everything from asking intricate medical questions to just asking for life advice. We had no idea professors would become role models and classmates would become best friends. I sat at Chelsea and Katie's dinner table several months ago, and a conversation started about class reunions. Katie and I made a comment about trying to have one every few years. We were almost immediately interrupted by a look of disbelief from Chelsea and the comment, "Every few years? I thought we would have at least 2 per year." As you enter this next chapter, find excitement and comfort in all the new people we will meet, but don't forget to lean on the ones from this chapter. We are all just a phone call away from one another, and if that's not enough, you can always attend Chelsea's biannual reunions. The next survey question I asked was what it is you love the most about healthcare. Of each of the questions I asked, this answer was eerily similar across the board. In one way or another, almost everyone said they love this field because of their ability to help people. For some of you, it was the feeling of joy and pride associated with helping others. For many, it was the problem-solving aspect, described as putting the pieces of a puzzle together, which led you to the ability to diagnose and treat your patient. For a few of us, it was the feeling when you sit down at the bedside and just listen and talk with the patient. I like to think of this ability and strong desire to help as our superpower. Sure, there are many jobs all across the world where you're given the opportunity to help another individual in some capacity. Unlike other fields, we are entrusted with not only technical tasks, but also with the intimate responsibility of caring for individuals during their most vulnerable moments, whether facing illness, injury, or emotional distress. The relationships we will cultivate throughout practice will require deep trust, empathy, and ethical duty. Each day, we will combine complex medical decision-making with compassion and respect for human dignity. Class of 2025, I want to challenge each of you to always remember this as our why. There will be the patients we feel as if we cannot help. There will be the days we are so worn down we do not want to help. But I challenge you to remember that helping is not always about making the diagnosis or coming up with the correct treatment plan. It is being human and walking alongside your patients and their families each step of the way. As I wrap up, I want to leave you with a few numbers to help put today into perspective. During the 2022-2023 admission cycle, Casper received over 31,000 applications. With around 312 PA programs across the country, 90% of which use CASPA, that's a huge applicant pool. While exact data on who enrolled isn't available, acceptance rates typically range between 30 and 40%. That means that between 9,000 and 12,000 people started PA programs alongside us. The most recent estimates suggest that around 11,000 students will graduate from accredited programs this year. Now, I'm not sharing these numbers to impress you, but to remind you just how impressive you are. Whether this was your first application cycle or your 5th, you made it. You were chosen out of thousands to take on a challenge, to be bold, and to pursue a dream. And today you should feel nothing but proud. So as you rise to take this oath today, I ask you to hold on to that perspective. You are just one of around 11,000 people this year who get to speak these words. This oath isn't just a tradition, it's a promise, a commitment to the highest standards of patient care, ethics, and lifelong learning. So listen closely as you say it. Let it ground you, guide you, and stay with you every step of your journey ahead. Finally, to our incredible faculty and staff, thank you for standing beside us over the past 2.5 years. Your guidance, wisdom, and encouragement, and even friendship have shaped us into the clinicians we're becoming. To our friends and families, thank you for being our steady foundation, especially when we doubted ourselves. And to my fellow classmates, thank you. It's hard for me to express in words the love I have for each of you and the impact that we've had on one another. You've become more than classmates, you've become extended family. The beginning of our adventure together was an exciting time for sure, but this definitely isn't the end. It is simply another page turning. We're about to relive those moments. New job, maybe a new city, new people, and yes, finally some real pay. As we step into this next chapter, it may feel like that first day all over again. But here's the thing, we're ready. We've been prepared, we've laughed, we've cried, and we've leaned on each other through it all. While we may not be side by side as we were in those early days, we will forever remain connected as friends, peers, and professional colleagues. Class of 2025, let's do this.